Hey YouTube, it's Jeremy Mansfield here, just giving you my reaction after the first round of the NFL draft and how crazy it was. Um, with the fact of obviously Joe Burrow, he's projected to be the first overall pick, and yet he got drafted as the overall pick because the Bengals have been struggling for a few years now, and they just need a new scenery. They need a new quarterback. Andy Dalton's not solving the problems that they've been having, and they just need a new quarterback, need a new scene, and that's what they've got. And especially with Chase Young now at the Washington Redskins, he's producing very well in college. Obviously, with the Ohio State defensive lineman coach creating the Bosa's and how good they've been, and Chase Young has been doing the same production basically of forcing fumbles, uh, tackle behind the line, and sacks and all that fun stuff. And what's also crazy about this, though, too, is that third, fourth, and eighth in the pre-draft show was saying that they wanted to draft down when Lions have been down in the NFC North for a long time. So why would they want to trade down? And especially they have the third overall pick. Like that is crucial for the Lions. And especially like the great rivals of the Green Bay Packers, they only had all the way down to 30th, but obviously they trade up 4 spots to the 26th. But still, like you're down in the slumps for years and years, and yet you want to trade down like that. No, like that's not like what you should be doing. And especially with the Giants too, like they've been struggling for a few years now, and they wanted to trade down. Like you got Daniel Jones, like that is a starting of a building block. Now you got to build more. Like obviously they wanted to trade down to see what they could do, but you gotta get the best player available because you got one key component, which is Daniel Jones, but you gotta expand and gain more and more. Like you can't just give Daniel Jones like the bare bones of like what you need for an offense or a defense. Like you gotta give him something. And especially Tua being at the fourth overall pick, obviously he was medically questionable because of his hip injury that he had towards the end of his college career, and he was under the line of are is he going to be drafted? Is he going to be passed on? But yet the Miami Dolphins way past, as they were saying, is that Drew Brees was the one that they passed on, and look where he's at now. And he's given them a video, and they say he looks pretty good. I say even myself, he looks good too as well, but you never know unless if you actually put pads on him and let him throw a ball and be in the live action of under the lights and also under pressure. But I feel like he's going to step up, do a good job, and do the best that he can and not put his hip injury into the problem. And now the Chargers got Justin Herbert from Oregon. They need a new quarterback because they don't have Philip Rivers anymore. So now they are going to be scrambling to look for a quarterback now. And I feel like Justin Herbert's the perfect guy because he's from Oregon. They are flexible with their offense, and he will be flexible and be good at that spot, whether if he starts or maybe if he sits out for a year. But still, I feel like they're going to want to train him to be the starting quarterback of the Chargers, and I don't blame him. He should. What also was another crazy thing about the draft is the Packers. Like, the Packers picked a QB. They traded up 4 spots for a QB. I understand with Aaron Rodgers getting to that age, but like me as a Packer fan, obviously I respect all teams, but like I'm majority of a Packer fan if I were to watch football. Like we don't need a QB to a certain aspect. Obviously I understand where they're coming from. Like Aaron Rodgers is getting to that old age. and we need to expand out and also create a one under his wing so that way when Aaron's legacy is left behind or gone, we have someone who's been under Aaron Rodgers, who's learned from Aaron Rodgers, who knows the offense and who knows how to read the defense and become a star player. But yet, we need weapons now. Like, we have a team that we can produce a championship with because we lost in the NFC Championship. So we're one game away. We need building blocks. We need a wide receiver. We need a running back. Like, we need other stuff. We don't need a QB right now. We got Aaron Rodgers for at least 4 more years. We can worry about that maybe 2, 3 years, maybe 2 years from now. But right now, we don't need a QB. But either way, he is a good pick. He's from Utah State. He has developed a good game. And I would say don't trade up for a QB, but if it's worth the shot, then obviously do it. But in my aspect, I wouldn't have done it. I would have gone for a wide receiver, but yet people have been saying there has been a wide variety of wide receivers, more than what other drafts have been, and that's crazy because you obviously every draft class is like known that you only have a certain wide receiver group that's like the star athletes, but I guess this year there's more variety of wide receivers, tight ends, and out of the backcourt of the offense, which is very, very good. And I hopefully when we go for our second round pick, number 60, that we pick a wide receiver, that we pick a weapon, or we trade up to get a weapon for Aaron Rodgers, or even for the defense, because since we've lost Blake Martinez, we need an inside linebacker. We've got the Smith brothers on the outside. We've got a good, decent defensive line. We may need some in the safeties and we really don't need safeties in the corners. Maybe a safety, but like the corners, we got Jaire Alexander. We got a few others that we've or Amos from free agency. So we got the backcourt. We just need an inside linebacker for the second round or even still to come, and fix up our offense, whether we get an offensive lineman now because we lost Brian Bulaga due to free agency and we couldn't sign him back because he would have been a big deal for money. And so that is pretty crucial. And also what's also crazy is that only running back throughout the whole entire first round. J.K. Dobbins was top 10 mock draft for like basically every single mock draft. He was in the top 10. He didn't get picked at all. This guy from LSU got picked at the last pick of the first round. Obviously, the Chiefs, they won the Super Bowl. They don't really need much more than what they have already because they got Kittle still. They got Mahomes. They got a good offensive line. They got a good running back. They got the Tyreek Hill. They got a good offense. I think they may need to work a little bit on the defense, but overall, they've got the W from the Super Bowl. So obviously, they have a good enough team to make it to the Super Bowl and win, that they don't really need much more than what they already have. And just overall in general, with all these draft picks, it was more of offensive linemen were the key, or a linebacker, or a defensive back, because wide receivers are getting faster, they're getting more techniques, and a lot of teams with our conference, they're struggling with wide receivers, or they're struggling with getting corners. So they had to get these. Or like you got Tristan Wirfs, who's going to be with Tom Brady and working aside with Gronk since he's an offensive tackle. Like all these offensive linemen were tackles. So there was no guards. There was maybe one center. But other than that, like it's just crazy how this draft went, and hopefully you enjoy this video as much as I do creating it. Stay positive, stay safe. We'll conquer this quarantine together, and hopefully you have a great rest of your day. See ya.